joined right now by one parent, Lizette Rosenblatt, a mother whose daughter was, thankfully, able to escape from the school unharmed. Lizette, first of all...
Today, something we never thought we'd experience.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to episode 47 of the Verdict Podcast. I'm your host, Splash Jordan. Joining me today is the lovely Noinek. How you doing?
Good. Hey, how are you? It's been a good day. How's your day been?
It's been a pretty good day. It's been productive and it was cool. I'm still floating on this high from the weekend.
Yeah, how did that go?
It was great, actually. It was a lot like somebody replacing your batteries, saying, hey, contact me at this here and there if you need me. And going into it, I was like a quote unquote, featured speaker. I was a panelist, blah, blah, blah. So I walked into it thinking like, being recognized for my hard work, which was true, yes. But I would say that I definitely learned a lot more than I would assume anybody probably learned from me. First of all, I was just like super out of it. And it was my first time doing something like that. I just learned a lot. People were telling me ways, I got a lot of shortcuts. And people were just like, hey, or use this, use anything that I'm doing that can help your shit go better. You should use this. So it was just great being in that environment. They got another one coming up. I think the next one's going to be in Houston, might be in Charlotte. They haven't figured out that far in advance yet, but I am planning our first live episode, so that should be really, really fun. I got a dope lineup of things to occur. I'm curating the evening, so there'll be a couple of different things going on, but I expect that all who are there will have a great time.
Sounds like a good time.
Right, yeah, we need to link and talk about that for sure, because I'm ready to pull the trigger on that ASAP. I'll keep that under wraps until more information comes, but more information's coming real soon. So other than that, man, the Queen City Awards, if you haven't heard the news, this podcast, the Verdict Podcast, was nominated for Podcast of the Year at the 2018 Queen City Awards. Shout out to everybody who nominated us. Shout out to everybody who's been voting us. There's a contest right now, $250 up for grabs. If this podcast, the Verdict Podcast, wins that award, we're giving away $250 cash prize to one of our listeners. Make sure you're going on there and you're voting all day, every day. You can do it as many times as you want, as many times as you can. You just need to screenshot that proof and get it to Noinek or myself at House of Splash on Twitter and Instagram. Get entered into that drawing, because if we win, then somebody else is going to win. That's how we do things over here. If we win, then the fans win. I don't know of another podcast that works like that, but we showering the fans with money. I got Travis Scott tickets. That contest has officially started. Be on the lookout for that post. All you got to do is make a 1-minute video or less stating why you like the Verdict, how you listen, why other people should listen, how they can listen, your favorite episode, your favorite guest, your favorite thing, what you hate the most. Every time you make that video, you're going to get 10 entries into a drawing. Every time you say the verdict during that video, you're going to get an additional entry into that said drawing. And on drawing day, somebody will win 2 free tickets to go see Travis Scott. But also, I'm doing the same thing for San Holo. Do you even know who that is?
I sure do not.
Okay, yeah, he's like EDM trap, electronic music. He's like super huge in that type of scene, like very, very, very significant artist. That's for like bass heads and ravers and people who want to turn up, super hard to the max. Be on the lookout for those. I got 2 tickets to both shows coming up. I got my own live show coming up, queencityawards.com/voting. Make sure you enter your email address. Also, you make sure to vote the Verdict Podcast for Podcast of the Year. Didn't you? Well, first of all, happy belated birthday.
Huh?
You had a birthday recently, right?
No, it's coming up next week.
Okay, it's next week. But you did get...
Yeah, it's the 19th, yes.
All right, what do you got planned for that?
Not a damn thing. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Are you one of those people who celebrates the birthday for like a week, or like 2 weekends, or like do you even celebrate? Is it really even that serious to you?
It used to be, but not so much anymore. It's just a regular day for me. I'm just more excited about the fair more than anything. I just want to go eat. I'll probably indulge myself in that. I'm a fat kid at heart. Yeah, other than that, I've got some shoots booked coming up. I've got 2 that are themed for the purge, like a purge theme. So that's going to be dope for Halloween. Working on my book. That's about it.
Word. Now that purge theme shoot, is that info I sent you? Because I feel like
no, you're the second one. I already had a purge shoot booked for like the 28th, and then you sent me that one, and I think that one's like the 21st or something. So they're like a week apart.
Damn, I didn't know that was like a popular.
Yeah, the dude, the photographer that I'm working with or linked up with, the first one is the one I did the Black Tape project with, and he did a purge project last year. So he's bringing it back around this year and trying to find new models for it. So I was like, yeah, put me in there. Put me in the lineup. And we're in there. So, and from what I'm understanding with the second photographer, he said he'd send me all the specs with all the information for that one. So I'm looking forward to all of my upcoming shoots.
Okay, right. Yeah, you just tried to play us, talking about like you didn't have, nothing going on. You got fucking Purge 1 and Purge 2 photo shoots and birthday coming up, all types of shit.
Yeah, November after that, working on the book. I'm here with you every week. We busy. We in here. We working.
We are working. A couple of things that I wanted to talk about this week. And, I kind of called it audible because we were supposed to talk about some other stuff and a whole bunch of different shit was supposed to happen this week. But one of the, senses that was sharpened from my time I went to a Pod Connection ATL. Shout out to Empress Nick, Jaden Hollywood, Blunt Truth Podcast, Unicorns Talk Podcast, all these other great podcasters that I met who kind of sharpened some of my skills, when to strike, when to, feed on this thing called social media and how to run it through your machine so that it works, right? So I called a bit of an audible. Something major that happened recently was Amber Rose's Slut Walk, very, very, very recently. Were you aware, did you catch any of that? Did you, see any coverage about that at all?
I think I saw her outfit, but I haven't, or I choose not to really pay attention to her. I think this is her 3rd year doing it.
Second or third, I believe. So before we get super deep into any of this stuff, so to speak, we actually have somebody who, has a very strong opinion on, many of the topics that we're about to discuss right now. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I'm not allowed to reference this person by name, so she'll simply have to be Stuff, right? Stuff is the host of her own podcast, which I also won't name. It's very popular. On a recent episode, she spoke on a couple of these topics. So after hearing what she said and seeing whatever reaction, I reached out and we were able to come to terms with an arrangement. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect her on the line, and we'll get into it that way. All right.
All right.
Hold on for me. Okay, Noinek?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Okay, I have Steph on the line with me. Steph, Noinek's my co-host that I was mentioning earlier.
Hello, nice to meet you virtually.
Nice to meet you as well.
Right. Okay, right, virtually. So we're all just, hanging out here. Right before I connected you, Steph, we briefly touched on Amber Rose's Slut Walk, and I believe this is her 3rd year doing it. Now, is that in... Oh, it's the 4th. Okay, it's the 4th year. So now you shouting that out kind of answers my question. So you pay attention to what's occurring at the Slut Walk. Is that correct?
Yes, I pay attention to a lot that's going on in the world because I'm really more entertainment based. I see everything that's happening. I don't really keep track, but if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't, and I just remember.
I'm kind of the same way. I mean, things cross my eye depending on who's talking about it. I actually knew some people who I didn't know they were going beforehand, but they were there and they were posting pictures. That didn't bother me at all. I'm a very non-judgmental person. Let me ask either one of you, would either one of you ever go to an event like that?
No.
Okay. All right. I was just curious if you would. Not that I have a problem with it.
Well, actually, I would, I'm not going to say no just No, but as an experience type thing to see what's happening,
Right.
yeah. But, I'm just not going to just take it out of my time and just be like, I'm just going to go to the slut walk.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Okay, makes sense. Right. Yeah, definitely as far as like going there, experiencing it, but you're probably not going to participate and be picketed in and shit like that. How do y'all feel about what kind of messages events like that are sending out to the community? Do you feel like something like that is having a positive effect or a negative effect, or is it just, no effect at all? It's just the times.
The message, I get the whole entire point of the slut walk, all right? I know where it originated from, and then, obviously a celebrity got her hand on it in the U.S., and it just, it kind of went to shit. But my thing is, you can be very liberated. You can do what you want to do as far as your body, my choice, whatever it is. But there's more important issues that they should be fighting for. And I don't see none of them fighting for issues concerning sex trafficking and what have you. The message itself, okay, cool, but it's kind of like a selfish message. They're not really, I don't see any of them advocating for sex trafficking or anything. When you bring it up, that's when they start talking about, whatever the fuck they talk about. But the message itself it seems like it's more of a selfish message. But for you to be advocating, you shouldn't get raped because of what, how you're dressed, which is true. You should not.
You should not.
But for you to say men are trash all the time, and then you're a sex worker, that shit trumps everything. You're putting your life in danger for the same reason that you're saying men are trash for. You're probably going to get some heat for this, but it's just the absolute truth. I think the message is fucked up, and I think that they need to come up with a new direction with how they operate their whole entire mob of sex workers. Nobody cares y'all sell pussy. Y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do.
Right. Right. And
it's just a matter of fact of you're not even safe within your own profession, but you get mad and say men are trash because of what they do and whatnot, to women. But you're putting yourself in this risky ass situation, and you get mad at somebody trying to tell you that you don't need to do this, or if it's not working out, do this and a third. So that's just my piece on it.
Right. My problem, and I don't have any issue with people getting their coins how they got to get it, especially if you're not hurting me or mine's, right? But it's when I guess not only is there just kind of this braggadocious like air about a person who like people like a lot of females, especially if they got the Cash App in the bio, that typically is an indicator that this pussy is up for sale. And if people want to communicate via that way, I mean, unless there's some type of products or services being offered on the page, then of course that's what that link is for. But if you're traveling, living out of different hotels and you putting on airs for the internet, but in reality you struggling to make ends meet, or you are not doing well, it's like, what are you really doing this for? Like, why are you, like you said, putting yourself in this position to be violated so harshly on, and you're not even really trying to elevate or move on or make it out of your situation? It's almost like you enjoy being in this environment where it's dangerous around these individuals, and you doing what you're doing and you getting cash. But it's like, people call you out on it. Rah, 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 rah.
Biggest problem ever, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know that there's certain issues that we kind of have to skate around, but was there anything like, on that particular situation that you could kind of like, share some light on?
Okay, this is how I have to approach this situation.
All right.
When people hate you, they just hate you. Ain't shit you can say to fix it. They're going to argue facts because they hate you.
Okay.
What I can say is I've been stalked. I've been harassed behind a blocked account. Situation ended in January. Resurfaced literally 8 months later. September 27th. Situation died January 27th. And she basically said that I was not harassing her. I stopped. whatever that means. I wasn't harassing her from the beginning because as soon as I said, how you sell cooking, you broke, she blocked me.
Okay.
So please don't chuckle. So let me finish. So she blocked me, and I've been blocked since. Then she brought me back up under another blue check page, and that's when everything erupted. But my thing is, don't mention something if you don't want the backlash. She knew my platform was as powerful as it is. So she did that on purpose. But I'm going to let that slide. So I said something, I spoke my piece. I cleared up the situation. And then that's when I started getting harassed and stalked and, everything Lash reported. So I personally ended up taking off the content from Anchor. And then I got notification that Anchor said they were going to remove the content because he was sending out emails to the people that reported the content. So I decided to tell Anchor, take all my shit off y'all shit. But fuck y'all, because y'all are going to listen to a scripted harassment thing that the girl made. And then she went to go try to make another scripted message to send to SoundCloud. You're trying to silence me. So I took all my shit off Anchor because they killed my reviews. I went from a 5-star to a 1-star.
Wow.
I just want to thank all you sex workers that are poor as shit that went and did that. That's why you have no money, okay? Y'all spent all your time trying to attack my brand, my platform, but it's okay. So I moved to SoundCloud so I can better control the situation. That's where all my content is going to be here from here on out. So I deactivated my Twitter, and I did not deactivate it because of them. I just deactivated because, sometimes you just got to draw back. Everybody take L's, everybody take losses, but I didn't take no L's today. But you know what? Y'all won. Y'all got this for now. I have my team still up there. All my followers ended up getting suspended and stuff like that with the situation. And long story short, it didn't have to go this far. She didn't have to bring the situation back up. And then it was like playing telephone. One more thing. I have to make note of this. They said that I doxed her and I released her personal information. She has her pin tweet says her location because
Right.
that's where her, that's where it's gonna, her thing is going on.
Right.
That's how I got the location because it was her pin tweet. So people have mental illnesses, and this is why I have mental health podcast episodes, because people really need help. And for using on the internet and just do all of that for a week, something's really just not there. There's what it is. I took an L, but I took it with pride. But I'll be back.
I wouldn't even say you took an L. I mean, not from,
Right, I didn't. But it's okay. I took an L. Just let them know I took an L. That's it. I'll be back.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't want to, speak on things, in too much detail, until you're ready to. So I just thought that was, interesting, just, that reaction. I had never seen, I've only ever, kind of heard about a situation like that unfolding, and then, somebody telling me after the fact, but it was just kind of just wow, man, my timeline is ablaze right now with, this information, and not everybody is following this situation, but I was, and so and it was kind of because I was following certain topics of that same conversation, like just how sex workers in general, they like I said, I'm a person who is very non-judgmental, so I associate with different people, whatever types I associate with people who getting their money however they got to get it. But what I don't do is allow people to put on airs or put on fronts something's actually going on when it's not. If you're a sex worker and you out here and you doing it, that's fine, but don't make it seem like this was your only option. That was another problem I had with how sex workers behave. I know a lot of 19-year-old sex workers or 21-year-old sex workers, acting as if you've run out of options, you've not once even tried to fill out no kind of college application, no technical application. You ain't tried to learn how to do hair, learn how to do nails. You just went straight to selling pussy, and now your life is not where you want it to be, and you going nowhere fast really, and so it's just wow, it's sad.
If I could interject real quick, That's the issue right now. It seems like a lot of people are turning to sex work because they think it's easy. I mean, just because you have a vagina don't mean that it's going to sell. All right. And too many of them are doing that, and the internet made it very easy. But the issue is, it's illegal. All right. And then for you to be doing something illegal, and then you're doing other things that are illegal, I'll just never wrap my head around it. But it's just this craze now with premium snaps and stuff like that. Like, it's just easy money, but this type of work is like any other job.
Right.
You know, you got to put the time in to actually make some money. You can't just be, doing what you do and thinking that the money is going to come. And a lot of them don't really understand, sex work. They just think, oh, I'm gonna just go and get me a snap. Well, I can go get me a snap too and send some pictures. But that don't mean that they're gonna pay for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't think that far. They just think, oh, I'm gonna do it because everybody else is doing it. And that's sometimes why I hate the internet. The internet just manipulates, and then they just make this false reality, and people are living in this utopian ass world. No.
Right.
But the truth hurts, and that's why I'm in the position that I'm in right now. Fuck it.
People assume that I'm like a pot stirrer or that I'm a troll of sorts. So a situation like yours, I've been in it before, not to this level by any stretch. It wasn't for trying, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I've tried to basically be in this position where it's a wave of backlash just to kind of, experience it. But I mean, it seems to be, like very intense and very just like, hey, I need to like back away from it. Did you like going into it or before? Because I know you said that you've had other content before. Have you ever been in a situation like this where like, people are coming at you crazy?
Absolutely not. And I'm just really concerned at the fact that it got this far over sex work. My podcast we talk about everything. All right, we'll even talk about all last month I dropped financial literacy episodes to help people get their credit together, life insurance, banking loans, small businesses, black businesses, just so people can get their shit together. All right, and then only reason why the sex worker episode popped up obviously is because I was in a situation and I have that right to speak on it. Especially after getting harassed. So that's basically what it was, but. It's certain topics that me and my team speak on, and I really do not want to speak on homosexuality, because that's another very sensitive topic that I just completely stay away from. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize sex work was going to be one of them topics to where it was going to be a mob of sex workers, trying to take me out. Like,
right.
Y'all supposed to be working. But, on the bright side, I did get, a couple sex workers. Even a sex worker asked me for help on trying to get a job.
Wow.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And, it's just, like I said in the beginning of the show, when people have hate in their heart, they're just going to hate you. They don't care about facts. I laid it out. I can tell the story to them on the stage. They're going to just go, with her story. But when you're broke and you, put all these contributing factors to why you're possibly broke, people begin to get sympathy for you. So they just want to, give you money and stuff like that. I don't move like that.
Right.
You feel me? I don't need none of y'all money. Y'all can't silence me. I have a voice, but y'all want people to listen to y'all, stressing because y'all can't do y'all sex work the way y'all supposed to do it.
Right.
So, it's really just one of them things.
Right, I see that. Yeah, definitely. Sounds like something like a trigger for sure. Noinek, did you want to add anything?
No, I think I about summed it up.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Are you scared of the backlash? I'm sorry.
Not at all, because I honestly just have like a completely I don't know, it's like a completely different opinion when it comes to sex workers, because it's more of a deeper root than just their work and this, that, and the third. It's really not like you said, it's not a lack of options. It's a lack of self-confidence and self-worth, because any woman that has self-worth and self-confidence about themselves don't even think to do those type of acts, whether they have a kid or not. Because a lot of women that have children, they think, oh, my last resort is selling myself. Like, no, all you're doing is selling yourself short. So, like a woman of, empowering others, it's the fact of, like, Slash was saying, like, it's the fact of finding something to do with yourself that is not that. So it's just, I don't know why they would have backlash. I don't quite know what was said or the depth of the situation. But yeah, my thing is just, I don't know, girls actually having self-worth about themselves, not depending on a man for a damn thing, and being able to provide for themselves and whatever they create as well. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I agree 100%.
Right, yeah. From my understanding, what was said was really basically what you know what I'm saying, in a different dialect maybe, but what you just said. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy. As stuff is stated, people have hate in their heart. Don't matter what you're saying. So it could be anything, and people will find a way to create a situation in which, you're the bad guy. So, I mean, because that's the truth. My mom was a single mother and raised 4 children on her own. At no point ever did she ever think like, oh, I'm finna go ahead and sell my body? Was evicted.
I'm gonna be real with you. Call a spade a spade is what my mother always said. I actually was one of those women. That's why I can confidently say that. It's the self-worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really think, yeah, that quick money comes fast. It's not quick money, and the quicker you get it is the quicker you spend it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally waiting for somebody to choose to mess with you, to pay you for it. No, you have to learn to have a total different. You have to have like a total different, aspect of life. And I'm not an ugly woman. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like to cover up their self-worth not being there, or, not feeling like they're worth more. It's like they want everybody else to feel sorry and victimize themselves and want, everybody else to be, accepting of your lifestyle. No, do what you do because it's your lifestyle. But at the same time, don't expect the whole world to get in on what your shindig is. And that's the thing where I have an issue, because I have a little girl. So don't teach my child to be a slut or a hoe. Teach her to be something that's going to actually become of something more, and that she can teach some child behind her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like women aren't empowering women to be great. Like, if you think back in like the early 90s, some of the prettiest, most sought after women, like, were fully clothed, i.e. Aaliyah, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu. She didn't come out naked in that video for years later, when that was when society was switching over. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I mean, the imagination is what creates everything for a man. So I think, the slut walk and the sex working stuff, I think women need to start thinking on a deeper and, more intelligent capacity when it comes to that and with their self-worth.
I just want to just say real quick on what you were saying. The issue with that is women can understand that they're mouthpiece, and when I say mouthpiece, it doesn't mean to put it on a private part. If you have a really good mouthpiece, you don't have to sell your pussy. Period. A lot of them too, they don't have that. And they don't have the ability to think for themselves, because a lot of them are just in that mob mentality. Like, they just sit together based on what it is that they do. So they don't never flourish with any type of positive idea to do better. So all these little sex workers that's online right now, they're probably going to just end up being sex workers probably for the rest of their life, because they don't put themselves in other positions to actually do better. Period.
Not even breaking that down even further. It's not even about putting yourself in a position. It's about putting yourself around the people that are going to get you there. It's not about stepping on somebody else's Yeah, that ladder. But even the people you're around, I was even telling one of my homeboys literally like 2 days ago, I was like, my grandmother always taught me association breeds assimilation. If you want to get higher in life, you put yourself around people that have more than you. Like, I literally work in a business where I am around millionaires all day, every day. Like, so millionaires, they're not flashy at all, and they're humble as shit, and they've got their shit together spiritually, most importantly. But if you're not around that and you hang around hoes, or you're hanging around, sex workers, you're going to think that's all that there's out there and that you're not good enough to get better. But when you're around somebody that has more, either you're going to be jealous and envious, or you're going to be like, oh shit, let me put my jacket on, straighten my collar, let me get my shit together, because it makes you hungry for it. So first of all, it's your mindset and determination, and second of all, your crowd.
That's true. So, I mean, we've all definitely had our turn, speaking on sex workers. Were you in a position, I know that you've got some things on the horizon, and I'd really like to kind of direct my listeners to, you know, be able to interact with you and, you know, hear more about the, you know, what you have going on from you, is there any place that you can direct them or anything you can say to people who are going to say, okay, I want to know what's going on when they hear this episode?
What do you mean what's going on?
As far as like you know, as far as like, you know, beyond this situation, like just, you know, this person and what they're doing.
Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna go into exactly what it is that I do.
Okay.
But this situation is not my only situation.
Right.
Okay, my podcast is not only just my podcast. I'm moving.
Okay.
No bags is being stopped.
Okay.
I'm handling my business. You know, things happen, and this comes with saying controversial shit. Period. So, long story short, I'm still here. Nothing is gonna get stopped. Nothing. I'm still moving on my team. Me and my team. I just gotta get a shout out to my team. Like, really, excellent, y'all. But I just appreciate everything that y'all been doing. Me and my team were open. Nothing stopped. I'm stopping until Monday because I just gotta, you know, recollect everything that happened this week. Well, we good.
Okay.
So if y'all think that my podcast is the only thing that I got going for me, I'm just gonna need for y'all to just go sit back and reevaluate because it's more than that.
Okay.
So
all right. Well,
it is what it is.
Well, okay, cool. So, as those things become, you know, public, then I can I'll direct you know, my family.
You know, release that information. But right now, we good over here.
Okay.
I'm still good.
All right, wonderful. All right, well, cool. So if we're good on, you know, on those, you know, those very sensitive topics, I'll go ahead and transition us into a segment that is pretty popular on this show. It's called Rappers Who Went to Jail This Week. Starting off the list was Jim Jones. He was arrested back in June, actually, but he was actually charged with 5 felonies. You know, being a prior felon.
Damn.
Right. Yeah, he had
Wait, what did he do?
Well,
right.
The car that he was in, the driver hit a police car. If I'm not mistaken, that's how the story went. So Jim wasn't driving; he was just in the car, but he did have guns and drugs on him, like less than an ounce of weed, but he did have some cocaine on him, and he had some guns on him too. So he basically was just, you know, in a situation that he really didn't have no control over. So, but I think he's in a position to fight it. It doesn't seem like, you know, he's worried about it. It's not like he shot nobody or killed anybody. It was just, you know, kind of wrong place, wrong time. Now, but Dave East, though, he's been charged with assault. Somebody's claiming that back at one of his concerts that he's claiming that Dave East punched him in the back of the head. Basically, 28-year-old Joel Rosario. Basically, he's a guy, but he's claiming that Dave East punched him, right? So Dave East was charged and arrested with assault. He bonded out, so he's already out, and I think he has court in December. I don't know if y'all heard, Nelly's rape case was dropped. There was a woman who was alleging that he had assaulted her, which is another thing that, you know, that's another sensitive topic that we kind of went into a couple episodes ago, was like, you know, assault and what does that mean and how weird it is. But anyway, so that case has been dropped. There's some murky discussion on if there was money exchanged or not. Basically, they were suing each other. She was suing him for some money, basically saying he raped me. And he was suing her, saying she's defaming me, and she quit and he quit. So, but last you know, jail-related situation. I don't know if y'all heard Bill Cosby getting slapped with that chicken patty in prison. Apparently, he had told a joke, and somebody didn't find it funny, and he threw him and hit him in the face with a chicken patty. And
okay, you know what? Look, listen. These damn headlines of Bill Cosby getting out of hand. 2 weeks ago, he got hit in the face with a stale hot dog thing about a fat on the stairs. So. I'm not buying none of these Bill Cosby headlines because they talk about he having the time of his life in jail.
You think so?
In prison. That was another news article.
Oh, that he's having the time of his life?
Yeah, like he's doing pretty good while he's in prison. I mean, he's like everybody's father that didn't have a father. You know what I'm saying? He everybody's TV father.
That's true, though. That is true.
Right. So, I mean, look, them headlines funny as shit, so I'm not even going to lie.
You're right.
I'm not even going to lie.
Okay. All right then. Well, cool. So that was all I had for rappers or whomever. I don't usually include football players because we'll be here all night talking about them niggas going to jail. So last thing, stuff before you go, we're just gonna play a game super quick. It's called Two Truths and a Con. I'm gonna read off 3 scenarios, right? So they're involving like people getting arrested, people going to jail, whatever the case may be. 2 of these situations really occurred, and one of them I made up, and you gotta just guess the lie.
So I gotta guess which one was made up.
Yeah, you gotta guess which one I made up.
Hopefully you win, because I've been losing bad.
Okay, hopefully, let me cross my fingers because this is really just up my alley. Okay, let's go.
All right, cool. So
let's go.
first scenario is Maurice Ferreiro. He's 28 and he was from San Pablo, Brazil. He had his car stolen while he was robbing a drugstore. And when he came outside and saw his car was gone, he got robbed from the shit that he just took from the drugstore. So when he went down to the police station to file a police report that his car was stolen, the drugstore owner was there as well and said, hey, that's the guy who robbed me. And so they arrested Maurice. And now while Maurice was in jail, the cops discovered that not only that the cops had discovered that the car that he was in, he had actually stolen it. So he stole a car. He went and he robbed a drugstore. This happened in Brazil. He went and robbed a drugstore. While he was robbing a drugstore, somebody steals the car from him. When he goes to report the car stolen, he gets arrested, and that's when they find out that he himself had actually stolen the car. All right?
That's a really bad night. Keep going.
This is one of them situations where, okay, are you going to read all 3?
Yeah.
Read the next one.
All right, cool. All right, so next one is Ed Boone, 54. And he's from Wichita, Nebraska, and he committed 11 armed robberies posing as an Uber driver. He was using the stolen ID and car, but he texted one of the victims afterwards, and police used that number to track him down and arrest him. All right. So I'm going on to the next one now. So 17-year-old Katie from Kennewick, Washington, she woke up to find her car stolen. And while working her shift at McDonald's, the thief brought her car through the drive-thru, and Katie was able to call the police and have the thieves arrested.
Okay, I really want to say the first one was a lie, and the last 2 was the truth.
Okay, is that your guess, Stuff? The first one's is the con?
Yeah, the first one is a complete lie, and then the last 2 is the truth.
All right, and Noinek, what you think?
I'm gonna do like Frank. So she said 1. I'm gonna say 3.
All right, so you're saying that the last one was the con and the first 2 were the truth. All right, so it pleases me to let both of you know that actually the second one was the con. And the first,
I'm gonna hang up.
The first and the last one actually occurred. Those two things those are true stories. To the best of my translation abilities. The first story was in Spanish, so I could have had some names and some facts wrong, but to the best of my ability, that's true, and so was the last story. So I do try to fact check those and make sure that they're true. But and I made the second one up. The first one, seeing that online, is what made me think like, okay, I need some crimes involving cars, because that shit was just wild. Like, there's a video of it too. Like, when I posted the episode, I posted a video. But yeah, him pulling up, him getting a car stolen, him getting robbed, all that shit's on video of the store where he was robbing it. So
let me tell you something. If I was that cop, I would just sit there and look at him in the cell and die laughing the entire time.
Right.
Like, you've got to do the dumbest criminal around this century. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
Well, they give him. He explains himself a little bit, and he kind of just goes into how, like, basically he says that Brazil and South America as a whole is just like Banditville. It's just like the wild, wild west out there. Like, everybody's robbing everybody apparently. So I guess that's a normal thing. So I don't really know myself, but I do want to thank the both of y'all for bearing with me through the setbacks and being flexible. Stuff. I really appreciated you coming on here and sharing that with me and saying some of the things you said. I always like to meet people like myself who are very, bold and direct about the things that we want to say. And, it's just, refreshing to meet other people like that and just, kind of let you get off and do your thing. So I'll be watching, and you got a fan now. And like I said, as your moves are made public, I'll definitely make sure to direct, my fan base as well.
Oh, good. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.
All right, I appreciate
you as well. It's a pleasure meeting you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No
All right.
need.
Good night.
Good night. Noinek?
I'm still here.
All right, cool. All right, I didn't say for you not to hang up, but we didn't, we just, shout ourselves out at the end.
Did I indulge too much, even like stating that, like, I've actually thought about, or what did I even say?
I was trying to digest that, but she kept saying things that I was trying to digest too, and so I was just like, you know what? And then I kept looking at the clock, and I was like,
it's a part of my truth and a part of my being, so I really don't care, but I just want to make sure that your show, you know what I'm saying, doesn't get any backlash from it. So whatever you do, if you edit it out, that's fine. Don't think that I'm like, oh my God, what did I just say? It's the truth, and it's something that I'm openly, tell people. So that's why I was like, call a spade, it is what it is. Like, I've thought the same way. I've tried to get in the industry. This is just work. My mental, I'm not begging nobody for no shit. So that's why I can come at a different aspect of it. But some women will be like, well, I don't have any issues with my self-esteem. Yeah, you probably think you're the baddest bitch, but if you really knew you were the baddest bitch, you wouldn't do this shit. There's a difference in thinking and fucking knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and women don't think on that level. Don't knock what you haven't tried. If you ain't been in those situations where you actually were at that point where you're the lowest of the low, even though you've never, you know what I'm saying, you're not at that lowest, like there are always other options. You just don't think there are because your mind is so closed. If you ain't never been at that point, you can't really talk shit about it. Just like if you ain't done drugs, don't talk shit to a person that fucking does it because you don't know why they do it.
True.
So, I mean, when it comes to the whole, the sex worker thing, it's really a deeper root. Say, like Amber Rose should be standing up for, like the sex trafficking, or just stating something even along the nature of what I said, like having that self-esteem. Like if she had self-esteem and she's a beautiful woman, you wouldn't be a fucking homie hopper. You wouldn't want to give the damn pussy away because it would be too damn good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're a bad bitch. You got so many women in America wanting just to fucking look like your ass because you're one of the only women that can really rock a bald head and be as bad as you are. But you're teaching all these little girls that it's okay just to sleep with every man looking for fucking attachment? No. No. You should be like, self-said. You should definitely be sending a different message because you have the platform to actually change some shit.
Okay, wonderful. Dope. All right, so let's shout ourselves out. We'll try to get some rest. So
no, you already know. Instagram, Noinek, Noinek, Snapchat, Zay_billion, and that's BYLLION. And yeah, Facebook's always deactivated. So y'all better catch me on Insta or the Snap.
If you're rocking with this episode of The Verdict, make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, share on iTunes, or my website, thehouseofsplash.com. You can also stalk me on the internet at House of Splash on Instagram and Twitter. Other than that, we out of here.